Okay, in photography, you've got your cameras, your lenses, but really, there's only one tool that truly matters: light. And today, we're going to talk about a guy who was an absolute master of it. His name was Dean Collins, and he didn't just use light, he commanded it. And even better, he taught a whole generation of photographers how to do it too.
You know, that quote from Skip Cohen really hits the nail on the head. For Collins, photography wasn't about finding good light. No, it was about building it. He was like an architect, and light was his raw material. He taught people that you could shape it, bend it to your will, and control it with just incredible precision.
Right, but you have to remember, his world was all about film and light meters. You had to get it right in the camera because there was no undo button. Now we live in a world of Photoshop, AI, and the we'll just fix it in post mindset. So, does any of his old school philosophies still matter? That's the big question we're going to tackle. Let's dive in.
So, first up, the craft of control. To really get Dean Collins, you've got to understand his whole philosophy. He basically threw out the idea that great photos are just happy accidents. For him, it was a science, a craft, something you could master with a process, not just by getting lucky. Yeah, he had this great way of putting it. He said for too long, photography was just a bag of tricks. You'd see a cool photo and just try to copy it without really understanding why it worked. He wanted to change that. He wanted to organize the craft, to give photographers a real system, a way to see an image in your head and then just build it, predictably, every single time. And to build something, well, you need a language, right? A set of rules. So Collins created one. He broke down light into 5 simple, controllable parts. You've got the true color of the object, that shiny highlight on it, the darkness of the shadow, and then, and this is the really clever part, the way the light transitions between those areas. It's like a recipe. He basically said, if you can measure and control these 5 ingredients, you can cook up any look, any mood you can possibly imagine. It turns art into a predictable science.
Okay, so section 2, decoding the light. It's one thing to know what the variables are, but how do you actually control them? Well, that brings us to maybe his most famous invention for getting that total control, the chromazone system. This thing was his secret weapon, seriously. Imagine an art director asks for something totally subjective, like, give me an electric red background. What does that even mean? Well, Collins could take that vague idea and turn it into a precise mathematical formula. It's kind of like a painter's palette, but for light. He started with a standard 18% gray. That's his zone 0. Then he figured out that if you double the light, you get 1 step brighter. Halve the light, 1 step darker. By just adding or taking away light in these predictable steps, he could nail any tone he wanted. It was repeatable, it was precise, and man, it just worked. So how does this actually work in a real shoot? Let's talk about a super common problem that photographers still deal with today. How do you get a background to be pure, clean white, without that light just blowing out your subject and ruining the whole shot? His answer? It was just simple math. He knew from his system that to get pure white with 0 detail, just pure, clean white, the light on the background had to be exactly 8 times brighter than his standard gray. In camera terms, that's 3 stops brighter. So he'd meter the light on his subject, let's say it's f16, then he'd just crank up the background lights until his meter read f45. Boom, done. The most important thing here is that he knew with 100% certainty what that background would look like before he even took the picture. No guesswork at all. All right, section 3, from concept to chrome. This level of control wasn't just about getting technically perfect backgrounds. It opened the door to some seriously mind-blowing creativity, all done inside the camera. And there's no better example than one of his most famous commercial shoots for a Yamaha motorcycle. So the art director comes to him with what sounds like an impossible request. They're like, Dean, we need a shot of this new Yamaha bike. It has to be razor sharp, super detailed, like a studio shot. But it also has to feel like it's flying down the road at high speed. And remember, this is the era of no fixing it in post. They had to get it all in one shot. So what did Collins do? His solution was so simple, it was absolutely brilliant. Instead of figuring out how to photograph a speeding motorcycle, he thought, why not keep the motorcycle perfectly still and just move everything else? And this is how he did it. It was all practical effects, created right there in the studio. They used a long exposure, and during that time, his crew would spin the wheels with fishing line to create motion blur. The wet road speeding by, that was just a big roll of black plastic they pulled across the floor. The blurred background? a painted backdrop that someone literally slid from one side to the other. They even hid the stands holding up the bike by moving painted boards in front of them during the shot. It was like a perfectly choreographed dance, a live performance to create one single image. Okay, moving on to our final section, a timeless legacy. Because as amazing as those photos were, his real passion wasn't just making them, it was teaching other people how. You could argue his most important product wasn't his pictures, it was education. He wanted to empower every photographer to become a master. And he really dedicated his life to it. In the 80s, he started with these super detailed printed guides and world tours. Then he got into video, making these legendary fine light VHS tapes. You could literally watch him work step by step. And he didn't stop there. When digital came along in the 90s, he jumped right in, working with Adobe and starting a company to make Photoshop training. He just never stopped trying to demystify the whole process. So that brings us all the way back to that question we asked at the beginning. The tools have changed. I mean, there's no question about that. His toolkit was all physical stuff, light meters, big fabric panels, reflectors. Our toolkit today, it's Photoshop, Lightroom, AI plugins. He was controlling light, we're manipulating pixels. But here's the key takeaway. The principles haven't changed at all. They're timeless. Understanding how light wraps around a subject to create shape, or how a highlight defines texture, that knowledge is just as important now with a digital sensor as it was with a roll of film. And honestly, getting the light right in the camera still gives you a much, much better starting point for any editing you want to do later. You know, Dean Collins mastered his craft because he had to. There was no digital safety net. And his legacy kind of leaves us with this challenge, this one big question. If you had to create your next amazing image with zero Photoshop, could you do it? It really makes you think. Are we mastering our craft by choice, or are we just leaning on our digital tools like a crutch? The point isn't to throw away Photoshop, of course not. It's about appreciating the power of getting it right from the start, by truly understanding light.